What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Alex. After a full season of riding the KLX300 everywhere from highways to forest roads, I started tracking how much this bike actually costs me to own. And honestly, it ended up being more than I expected, but probably not for the reasons you think. It's not just gas, it's maintenance, gear, little upgrades, and all the random stuff that adds up over time. So today, I'm breaking down exactly what I spent after one full season with the KLX300 and what surprised me the most. Alright, let's start with the obvious cost, which is buying the bike. I paid around $5,500 for my KLX300, and on top of that, there were registration fees, taxes, and insurance. And depending on where you live, insurance can vary quite a bit, but for me, it worked out to roughly about $400 over the season. And when I first bought the bike, I figured the purchase price would be the biggest expense, and once I had the bike, I thought the cost would be pretty minimal. But after actually riding it regularly, I realized the bike itself was only the beginning. The more I rode, and the more I started spending. Not because the bike was unreliable, but because riding naturally creates other expenses. Maintenance is where the KLX300 really earns its reputation as an affordable bike. Oil changes are straightforward and relatively inexpensive. Throughout the season, I changed the oil one time and replaced basic consumables as needed, and the oil change was the break-in oil change that I had to do around 500 miles. I also spent a lot of time cleaning and adjusting the chain. If you ride dirt, dust, mud, or wet conditions, chain maintenance becomes part of the routine. The air filter needed regular cleaning as well, especially after off-road rides. And then there are tires. Depending on how aggressively you ride and what terrain you ride on, tires can become one of the larger maintenance expenses. The good news is that none of these jobs are particularly difficult. The reality is that this bike is cheap to run, but only if you actually keep up with it. I'll be honest, there were points where I got lazy with maintenance, and I could immediately feel the difference in how the bike rode. It reminded me that small maintenance tasks do matter. One of the biggest recurring costs is fuel. Most of my rides are somewhere between 40 and 80 miles, although some can be longer. The KLX300 is actually pretty fuel efficient, which is one of the reasons I like it so much. The typical fill-up costs me around $5 to $8, and depending on how much I'm riding, I'm filling up every 80 to 90 miles. What surprised me wasn't the cost per tank, it was how often I was stopping for fuel simply because I was riding more than I originally planned. The bike made me want to ride more, and naturally that meant spending more on gas throughout the season. Now, let's talk about expenses that kind of caught me off guard, and that is gear. When I got into riding, I didn't really think about that as much. I figured I'd just get a simple helmet, a jacket, and that's it. But if you want to protect yourself and have a comfortable ride, quality gear is much needed, like a helmet or gloves, and also boots and a good riding jacket. Now, that is cost that sometimes is not associated when you're purchasing a new motorcycle, and so you have to account for those as well. Now, let's talk about the unexpected costs. Unexpected costs could mean a broken lever, a phone mount, broken turn signal, a flat. Those are all unexpected costs that could arise over the course of a riding season, depending on how much you ride and depending on where you take this bike. If you take it up in the mountains, you can expect a little bit more expense as far as fixing it goes, as far as transporting it if you are planning to transport it. And then you can also think about things like camera gear if you want to record your rides out there. This also includes your storage and how you're planning to transport items on your motorcycle out into the woods, out on the highway. So, when I add everything together, here's what the season looked like. Fuel, about 90 bucks in one season. Maintenance, which includes engine oil, filter, engine coolant, chain cleaners, is about 140 bucks. Gear, jacket, gloves, helmet, boots, about 505 bucks. And then all the extras and upgrades, including the Delcovic exhaust system, the Kemimoto bags, was a little over 800 bucks. And that brings the grand total, including the motorcycle, taxes, insurance, and all of that, to approximately 9,358 bucks. And looking at the numbers, the KLX300 is still one of the most affordable ways to get into riding. It's reliable, efficient, and relatively inexpensive compared to many larger motorcycles, but it definitely isn't zero cost fun. There's always expenses beyond the purchase price, and it's worth knowing that before jumping in. Looking back, the money wasn't spent on a motorcycle, it was spent on experiences. Every scratch, every upgrade, and every mile has a story behind it. That's something a spreadsheet can never show. Motorcycles aren't always logical purchases. Every time I hit a trail, find a new campsite, or discover a road I've never ridden before, the KLX300 reminds me exactly why I bought it. At the end of the day, I don't regret buying this bike for a second. It's taken me to some incredible places, taught me a lot, and made me ride far more than I expected. But I also think people deserve an honest picture of what ownership actually looks like. If you already own a KLX300, let me know what your biggest expense has been. And if you're thinking about buying one, drop your questions below. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.